This is ABC 7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. 4th of July festivities aren't complete without fireworks.
Those happen tonight, but while many like the colorful light display, they can also be difficult for your animals to tolerate. And as ABC 7's Bobeth Yates reports, while the loud noise and bright lights can startle your pet, there are things you can do to help keep them safe.
From sparklers to bottle rockets, fireworks can have a major impact on your animal. And if you're not careful, it could impact them for the rest of their lives.
He does not like fireworks at all. He gets upset, he barks, he wants to go and check it out.
Leslie Short is among the millions of dog owners dreading the 4th of July fireworks celebrations.
I live on the intercoastal, so I'm always worried that when the fireworks are going off on the other side, on Siesta Key, that he's just going to go off the seawall. You know, he gets that close.
Leslie's dog Bandit isn't alone. Most animals tend to be afraid of fireworks, and in general, when panicked, the animals will switch into fight or flight mode, which is why a high number of dogs and cats tend to run away this time of year. But the owner of Canine Corral says there are solutions.
That's what happens is they hear a noise and boom, they're gone.
Chambord suggests leashing your dog when outdoors, and indoors, the animal should be placed in a crate during firework activity.
Have some music on in the room that they're in. Don't be playing heavy metal music. Don't be playing even high classical because you have such highs and such lows. I would do an easy listening station, up a little loud.
In addition, Chambord says there's several products on the market that will help ease some of the stress your pet feels during fireworks season.
This is a Thunder Vest. The Thunder Vest is wrapped tightly around the dog, and with it being wrapped tightly, it almost gives them that appearance or feeling that they're under the covers. They're in those places that they run to when they're afraid.
And if you don't have a Thunder Vest, you can also use an Ace bandage and wrap that around your dog. But the remedies go way beyond items that help your dog feel secure, to also include medicine.
You can give your dog some Benadryl. It is suggested that for every milligram, you would equate that to 1 pound in your dog. So if you have a 25 milligram tablet, that would be a 25-pound dog.
Chambord says another thing you can do to help calm your dog is keep them busy and give them treats. Bobeth Yates, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Maybe a new bone would help too. Well, while the powerboat racing is over in Sarasota, the Grand Prix Festival officially wraps up tonight with the Bayfront Fireworks Spectacular. The fireworks will be firing off from Bayfront Park near Marina Jack around 9 o'clock. You can see them from anywhere along Sarasota's Bayfront. That's just one of the shows in the area set for tonight. Other big events include the 4th Fest in Palmetto. That started at 4 o'clock. Smash Mouth will perform at 7, and then fireworks is planned for 9 o'clock right along the Manatee River. On Siesta Key, the 26th annual 4th of July fireworks display are set to go off at 9 o'clock. There will also be fireworks displays set for around dusk on South Venice Jetty, Minnesota Key and Englewood, and the Northport High School Stadium, along with a sandbar restaurant on Anna Maria Island.
The 4th of July celebration started early today in Manatee County. Thousands of people gathered for the Anna Maria Island Privateers annual 4th of July parade. The event kicked off at 10 a.m. Hundreds of participants rode 7 miles through the entire island, and we spoke to some of the spectators who went to see the parade to see how it went.
It's just fun to come with family, get beads and candy. And
all the cars and the necklaces.
I've gotten quite a collection of beads so far. It's been a fun overall day so far.
Last year, an estimated 20,000 people gathered along parade routes to see the 115 parade entries and 850 participants.
And on this holiday, AAA wants to make sure people are safe out on the roads. The 4th of July weekend is one of the most dangerous on roadways in Florida. Nearly half of all crashes involve drinking and driving. AAA will be offering free tow-to-go services until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning for those who are not able to safely drive home. The service is free to anyone who needs to be dropped off within a 10-mile radius. The number to call, 855-2-TOW-TO-GO. Ahead of big public celebrations on this Independence Day, security is ramped up from coast to coast, with investigators in New York City still looking into a mysterious explosion that happened in Central Park over the weekend, an explosion that seriously injured an 18-year-old tourist. Police do not believe this incident is terror-related, but they still don't know where that device came from. with fireworks lighting up the skies and millions celebrating on the ground.
Be vigilant out there, be safe out there, look out for each other.
It's all hands on deck for police across the country, with the nation on alert and New York on edge. The NYPD still investigating the source of this blast in Central Park. The 18-year-old victim visiting from Virginia still in the hospital with his foot amputated.
We're all sad. I mean, this wonderfully active young man, somebody did it. I don't know who.
Evidence recovered from the scene have authorities leaning toward this being the work of an amateur who tried but failed to detonate what appears to be homemade explosives.
There is some forensic evidence that indicates that it was not meant to go off by somebody stepping on it. It may have not gone off at an earlier time and was just left there.
This investigation ongoing as authorities continue to work around the clock looking for signs of danger across the city, using mobile cameras and specialized bomb-sniffing dogs. The added security also visible in Boston and Washington, D.C.
FBI police cars have been around, so it seems like everybody's out patrolling.
On street patrol in Chicago, an extra 5,000 officers. Authorities say this was not in response to any credible threats against the U.S., but rather officials staying proactive in keeping the public safe.
On this 4th of July, 43 million travelers are taking to the roads and skies. 36 million of them will drive, according to traffic and navigation app Waze. The roads will be the busiest tonight around 10 o'clock as people head home from the fireworks. The national average price of gas, $2.27 per gallon, and it hasn't been this cheap since 2005.
Prices are low, and I figure give it a shot. Travel.
Don't forget, airports terminals will be jam-packed with travelers. Airlines booking a staggering 11 million seats this weekend. The busiest hubs: New York, Las Vegas, D.C., Chicago, and L.A.
Or you could just stay home and enjoy the fireworks. And
why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We have such great ones here.
I know, we sure do.
Yeah.
Let's find out what the weather will be. John Scalzi in for Bob tonight. John?
Yeah, a lot of people out there tonight, no doubt about that. And we have had some thunder boomers around, but I think the forecast for this evening looks pretty good. We'll have mid-80s. It will be a warm one, no doubt about that. Kind of muggy out there. And by 9 p.m., I think we have minimal rain chances. Maybe an isolated sprinkle, but that's really about it. Thunderstorms ongoing in some parts of the SUNCOAST this afternoon were large and powerful, producing lots of lightning, lots of gusty winds, and even some brief periods of torrential rains. But that's now kind of moving out of the picture now, kind of exploding as the two sea breeze fronts kind of collide. For us, we're left with perhaps a southeasterly wind drawing back a little bit of light drizzle across the region, but I don't think we're going to see much more than that. Currently, across the coastlines anyway, things are pretty quiet. And then our Van Wezel webcam shows that, yeah, we had some cloud cover moving on past, but currently we have kind of a little bit of cloud cover out there, but not much in the way of any kind of big storminess. And I think the threat of storminess will get less and less as we progress through the evening hours. So put the rain chance at about 10–20% for a brief sprinkle or shower, and then everything kind of lightens up as we head into the evening hours. Back to you guys.
Thank you, John. President Obama and Hillary Clinton will campaign together for the first time in 2016 in Charlotte, North Carolina on Tuesday. The joint appearance was first set for earlier in June in Wisconsin, but it was rescheduled in the wake of the Orlando terrorist attack. The event comes weeks after President Obama officially endorsed Clinton, saying he doesn't think there's ever been someone so qualified to be president. Clinton and President Obama were fierce rivals when they ran against each other in 2008. But after the president tapped Clinton to serve as his Secretary of State, the two began to build what they now call a friendship. A new USA Today poll, Hillary Clinton leads Donald Trump by 5 percentage points. Clinton leads 45.6% to Trump's 40.4%. Just 2 months ago, the same poll showed Clinton up 11 points. The poll also found 61% are alarmed by the 2016 presidential race, 23% are excited, and 9% say they're bored.
Vandals have struck a war memorial in Massachusetts. Within the last week, someone smashed a display case at the Iwo Jima Memorial and stole 2 items, a Purple Heart medal and a vial of sand from the beach there. The monument depicts several U.S. Marines raising the American flag during the battle on Iwo Jima, but one good citizen offered his own Purple Heart as a replacement to the memorial.
He also took a trip to Iwo Jima, and he has some sand. He's going to give us a vial of sand to put back in there. And hopefully we can get a thicker cover placed on top of that plexiglass that will make it harder to break.
Police at the Memorial Park say they will increase patrols to try to deter further vandalism. NASA's solar-powered spacecraft Juno is expected to start orbiting Jupiter tonight if everything goes right. During its mission, Juno will circle the planet 37 times. Now, Jupiter is huge. It's 300 times larger than Earth. It will study Jupiter's auroras and gather information to help scientists better understand its atmosphere and how it was formed. Juno was launched back in 2011, and its mission will end February 20th of 2018 when it will crash into Jupiter.
Expect some pretty cool results coming out of that, and photos as well.
Yeah, the photos and research will be tremendous. Still to come, your Suncoast News, keeping your family safe while camping.
The importance of insect repellent and preparing for the unexpected.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go. Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process
And are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days.
To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org, and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get America's best value, a new Grand Caravan for just $18,999 or a new Dodge Journey for just $16,999. Stop by today to shop the area's biggest selection of Ram trucks and save up to $8,000 on your new Ram. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
That's Chuck, proud homeowner, regular do-it-yourselfer. Today he's attempting an electrical repair. This is Pablo. He's an electrician with Mr. Sparky. How's he doing, Pablo?
Terrible, Mike.
Yeah. What Chuck doesn't realize is that almost 68,000 home fires are caused every year by electrical problems.
What?
If he doesn't have the proper tools and training, he's liable to start the next one.
Little help here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You might want to write that number down.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
The number of Zika cases in Florida is now up to 246, and that includes one as close as Charlotte County. State health officials say the infected person got the virus while traveling. That's the person in Charlotte County. There are no known cases in Florida that were transmitted by mosquitoes here. The county is now taking steps to prevent the virus from spreading to the insect population. The latest case brings the number in the state to nearly 250 total. Hiking, canoeing, and roasting marshmallows are some family favorites while out camping. ABC 7's Alex Redmond has some advice on how to stay safe while enjoying those outdoor activities.
While hiking trails, canoeing, and roasting marshmallows all make for a fun camping trip, staying safe should be the #1 priority. A couple of things to keep in mind. Remember to store food and snacks away in a container or an insulated cooler. If it's waterproof, even better. And if you're planning on cooking your meals, avoid using gas stoves or any fuel-burning equipment inside a tent or an RV to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. Insect repellents are a must. If you're not a fan of constantly having to reapply, try wearing long sleeves and pants to keep the bugs from biting. Be sure to pack enough bedding and clothing to stay warm in case temps start to cool down at night. And always prepare for the unexpected. Check the weather, pack a first aid kit, batteries, and flashlight. And especially make sure someone, other than your fellow campers, knows where you are in case of an emergency. For ABC 7, I'm Alex Redmond, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Alex. Now let's head over to John. Not very likely our temperatures are going to cool down, John.
No, they'll be cooling down out in space, though. This is my picture of the day. I love this. On Independence Day, what's truly more American than space travel? And here we go. The last photo shot from Juno as it closed down its instruments in preparation for insertion into Jupiter's orbit. Fantastic. Skimming about 3,000 miles above the clouds, it's going to find out what the core of that planet is like, why the spot has been decreasing in size. Amazing, amazing discoveries it will make. Cool stuff. We're looking currently at very warm, sticky conditions outside, 89-degree temperature even at this hour with southwest wind coming in at about 6. We have a feels-like temperature that's still pretty close to the 100 mark, and across the region, temperatures hovering pretty close to the 90 mark. It's going to be a very warm, humid evening, and tomorrow, warm afternoon. I think our temperatures tomorrow will again run above average for this time of year. We hit 94 degrees as a daytime high today, so certainly very, very humid. Big thunderstorms in parts of the Ohio Valley through Kentucky, Tennessee, into West Virginia, Ohio Valley, seeing big storms for us. Standard, typical thunderstorm kind of variety without too much in the way of severe weather threat. But we did have some gusty winds associated with the storms that moved through parts of Charlotte County. 30-mile-an-hour winds, such as that. Lots of lightning strikes, though, and torrential downpours of rain. That's kind of waning now as this storm system continues to press inland and dissipate. We do have a few areas of light drizzle on the SUNCOAST right now, but for the most part, the coastal areas are pretty quiet. Palmetto, Bradenton getting a little bit of very light drizzle, but these radar returns are indicating mostly just drizzle, not much really even in the way of rainfall. You need to get above about 20 dBz for that, and we're not even close to that. We're looking at a area right here on the water vapor imagery that shows a kind of a swirl and is an indication of a lot of moisture in upper levels of the atmosphere. That's called a tut low. It's high in the sky, it's a pool of cool air, and it encourages thunderstorm activity. It is tropical in nature, but it does not pose a tropical risk for development for us. It's going to continue moving out into the Gulf waters, and in its place, high pressure is going to lift north and be paralleling the coast over the next several days. That's going to bring us this southeasterly wind flow, keeping showers and thunderstorms that develop in the afternoon along the sea breeze front, perhaps a little bit closer to the coastline than we saw over the last several days. But still, winds will be light enough and variable enough that we'll be able to produce a fairly strong sea breeze to push most of those thunderstorms into inland areas. That'll be true for the next several days. Warm, moist southerly flow, though, continues to bring those heat indexes up to about 105. So while just below the threshold for issuing heat advisories, you know, if you're outside and you're working hard and tomorrow's going to be a mostly sunny day with high heat indexes, take it easy, hydrate yourself. We're looking at a lot of cloud cover associated with that little tut low moving out into the central Gulf where it's been pretty much cloud-free. As high pressure builds in from the east, though, noses in west across the state, we'll have a lot more sunshine tomorrow, I think. Temperatures across the nation, I tell you what, hot still in the desert Southwest. 107 degrees in Phoenix, 93 in Albuquerque, 95 in Salt Lake. Look, even in Minot, they got up to 87 degrees today. So some pretty warm temperatures across the deep south as well, with 93 in Atlanta. For us this evening, if you're going to be out on a boat watching those fireworks, pretty nice. West wind coming in lightly at about 5 to 10, becoming a little more southerly tonight at about 5 knots. Then tomorrow we'll expect that southwest flow building in again in the afternoon at about 5 to 10 knots. Couple of tides left, 1 to 2 foot seas, by the way, and a light chop to smooth conditions. We have an 8:51 low tide and a high tide at 3:15. Forecast calls for continued warm through the week with less than average rain chances. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Now to SUNCOAST Traffic Watch. There's some backup on Siesta Key on Midnight Pass Road, so do give yourself some extra time if you plan on going to or leaving the Key.
Markets are closed today for the July 4th holiday, but they did finish last week on a positive note. Several up days on the market. They're looking to continue that recovery after Britain's Brexit vote. The Dow Jones climbed 19 points Friday. And then the S&P 500 was up 4, NASDAQ added 19. Analysts are trying to figure out which direction the markets will go the rest of the year. Many expect this year's roller coaster ride to continue.
General Mills is expanding its recall of Gold Medal's Signature Kitchen and Wondra flour. It's in response to an outbreak related to a strain of E. coli. The company removed nearly 10 million pounds of flour June 1st. Health officials say it was likely the source of dozens of illnesses across 20 states. The expanded recall covers flour made earlier in the fall that might still be in consumers' pantries.
United Airlines is giving its passengers an upgrade, at least when it comes to the coffee they're drinking. The carrier is switching to Italian coffee maker Illy. United says the change comes amidst customer feedback and that it chose Illy because it represents the gold standard of premium coffee. The airline serves, by the way, 72 million cups of Joe on board every year.
That is a pretty high-end brand.
Is it?
It is really nice.
Yeah.
The only problem I hear people say about drinking coffee on planes is the water. I mean, it may not be like you. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you just wonder how well it's filtered and how the taste is and how long it's been sitting in the containers. And I usually still do it anyways because I just need some caffeine with those like 6 a.m. flights.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
You need something to keep you up.
Yeah. Entertainment news is next.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Vargas. With the temperature getting even hotter in Florida, it's creating another safety concern for children. Tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast, why parents and caretakers need to take extra precaution taking kids to the playground. Wendy?
And our temperatures are expected to soar back up past 90 degrees for many locations.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
I'm Haley Wilgus. Florida's Trump campaign on standby, why Republicans are waiting until after the convention to rally support in the state.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
At ABC7, our entire weathercast is dedicated to the Suncoast, and now we bring it to you like never before with the all-new official Suncoast forecast.
Beach and boating forecast. The winds will be out of the northwest at 10 knots.
Now, with the most advanced graphics and technology, we bring you weather where you live, pinpointing right down to your neighborhood.
Zooming into the Sarasota Bayfront,
the all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
She's the last surviving star of America's most famous film.
Olivia de Havilland played Melanie in 1939's Gone with the Wind. She turned 100 years old this holiday weekend, the last of the great leading ladies from Hollywood's golden age. She answered some questions from reporters by email from her longtime home in Paris. The two-time Oscar winner revealed her secrets to a long life: love, laughter, and learning. And speaking of birthdays, Malia Obama shares quite a significant birthday with the United States. She turns 18 years old today. At 10 years old, Malia Obama has been in the spotlight since her father took office as president. She's been quite successful in her academic career while her father has been serving as president. She plans on going to Harvard in 2017, but she says she wants to take a gap year before attending college.
The White House is canceling its annual 4th of July picnic and fireworks watch because of rainy weather soaking the nation's capital tonight. But scheduled performances by rapper Kendrick Lamar and singer-songwriter Janelle Monáe will go on indoors. The artist will perform in the White House East Room for an audience of military families, administration staff, and supporters and guests of President Obama and his family. Moviegoers had no trouble finding Dory this holiday weekend. The forgetful fish left Tarzan hanging on a vine and dwarfed the Big Friendly Giant. Finding Dory took in an estimated $42 million by Sunday. The Legend of Tarzan premiered in second place with an estimated $38 million, and The Purge election year opened in third.
Legoland, California now houses the tallest Lego model in the United States. The One World Trade Center tower was unveiled as part of an updated New York Miniland cluster at the San Diego theme park. 8 master model builders spent more than 1,200 hours completing this. The tower was built with 250,000 Lego pieces and weighs more than 1,000 pounds. Here's hoping that they'll create one of these, something similar at Legoland in Winter Haven here in Florida. That would be nice.
That's pretty spectacular.
Isn't that amazing?
And fireworks too.
I just can't. I always loved Legos growing up, and I'm very impressed with what they can create.
The detail in that building.
Unbelievable.
That project,
very
incredible.
Cool. I'd love to see that. We'll be right back.